Vrccc. You're listening to your daily 7 o'clock news with 19.3 VR3C. Tonight, we have our weekly episode of Out of the Dust, The Other Woman, along with updating newscasts. Here, we have Clarissa Domingo with the first bit of news. Sit back and enjoy.
Thanks, Roxanne. Rich women of the 1920s never had to lift a finger. Could you imagine a high-class, rich woman becoming poor and a housemaker? No? Well, it has happened. In the year 1930, women started to become hard-working housewives. Many women have become employed and are saving money in any way possible. In the year 1920s, many women were free and rich. Many women became flappers and had the time of their lives. However, after the stock market crashed, so did their free spirit. At this point, all of the rich women had become poor and settled down with their husbands. Women became housemakers and slowly gained jobs. 75% of professional women have become nurses or school teachers, which remain traditional rules for women even to this day. The need to keep their family alive and healthy is the largest struggle of them all. The number of married women working has doubled during this decade. Finding work is difficult, so a lot of families have to save every single penny. Now to Casey Field with repatriation. Casey?
Thanks, Clarissa. We all know that most people hate getting forced out of bed when they finally get comfortable. Imagine the feeling of getting forced out of the country when you finally reach your desired destination. Currently, large numbers of Mexicans are being repatriated back to Mexico from starting their life in America. In September of this year, Supervisor John R. Quinn proposed a legislation that would remove more than 2.5 million illegal aliens from the United States. He strongly believed that his legislation would solve the unemployment problem in the Los Angeles County. By removing 2.5 million illegal immigrants, Quinn claimed that the number of the unemployment of the native-born citizens would be complete. Ever since the Great Depression began, Mexican repatriation has become more common because of the massive exodus that is occurring. Mexicans are now losing their jobs and their homes because their economy continues to get worse by the minute. They have been fired from their jobs, so now there is a 75% of unemployment. Just in San Antonio, Texas, 5,000 Mexican and Mexican Americans are being deported back to their homeland by railroads. It is said that the main reason for repatriation in Texas is because it has the best agricultural economy and most workers are Mexican. Many of those who are lucky enough to stay in the United States are currently staying in migrant work camps that have been established by the U.S. Farm Security Administration. They provide food, shelter, and other essentials needed to survive. The FSA was designed specifically to create safe havens for Mexican Americans.
How do you look in your bathing suit?
Are you too scrawny?
Would you like to gain some sex appeal?
Why be skinny?
Come on and enjoy life.
Thousands of skinny, run-down men and women have gained 10 to 25 pounds and new pep with the scientific, vitamin-rich formula of ironized yeast. Scientists have discovered that countless people are washed out because they don't get enough vitamin B and iron from their daily food.
Now you get these exact missing elements in these marvelous little ironized yeast tablets. Try them without risking a cent. Get ironized yeast tablets from your druggist today.
If you don't eat and feel better with much more strength, or if you're not convinced that ironized yeast will give you the energy and life that you've longed for, the price of this first package will be promptly refunded. Here are some letters from some satisfied customers.
Ella Craig from Lancaster, South Carolina says, "When you're skinny and pale, fellows hardly look at you. But with the new ironized yeast, I've gained 11 pounds, new pep, and all the dates I've ever wanted."
Irvis Richards from Barberton, Ohio. It's no fun to have everybody laugh and call you Scarecrow. I was skinny and didn't want to go out. Finally, I tried ironized yeast tablets, and in 5 weeks, I gained 14 pounds. Now I go out regularly and have good times. Get your ironized yeast pills for that curvy and healthy look.
Now for the latest episode of Out of the Dust, the title being The Other Woman.
Welcome back to our ongoing reading of Out of the Dust by Karen Hess. Last week, we talked about how Daddy went to the doc and found out that he really had skin cancer after Billy Joe told him so. Now, we will continue with The Other Woman.
Billy Joe, I have a friend here that helped me cope while you were gone.
Her name is Elise. She stayed by Daddy the days I was away. I knew that Daddy had met this other woman to replace Mom.
everyone. I brought some bread and I will prepare some soup in a moment.
Come on in, Louise. I'll get the pot ready. This is my daughter, Billy Joe.
Hello, Billy Joe. I'm Louise. It's lovely to meet you.
Hi, it's nice to meet you too. I prepared the table while Louise cooked. Watching her cook reminded me of how Mom would cook with grace. We all sat and ate our dinner in silence. After dinner, Daddy excused himself to clean the kitchen while I got to know Louise.
Excuse me, young ladies. I need to go clean the dishes.
He tied an apron around his middle and looked silly as a cow stuck in a hole, but Louise ignored that, and I took a lesson from her.
How are you, Billy Joe?
I'm fine.
I know you and your daddy had a history before me. I wish I was here for the whole thing.
But she wasn't, and there wasn't anything to do but get over it and get on. We both stared in wonder at the pond my daddy made.
A hole like that says a lot about a man. You're a great girl, Billy Joe. No, even though your daddy doesn't say so, he loves you a lot. While you were gone, he did nothing but worry about you. He was very to himself and constantly worried that you were hurt in some way. He really didn't want you to be away forever. He was full of regret.
I didn't intend to, but I really liked her because she was so plain and honest and she made Daddy laugh. We went inside to check if Daddy was done.
Thank you for dinner. I will be heading out now. See you too soon.
I'll just have to watch how things go and hope Louise doesn't crowd me out of Daddy's life. Not now, when I am just finding my way back into it.
Now to Christian Babinski with the current news on California. Christian?
Thanks, Vince. In this year of 1930, a lot of people have been coming to the state of California. Most of them wanted to work in the fields that they had there because they thought it would be better for their wives and children. Although we have many jobs for all the people coming from the Dust Bowl, the jobs are drying up fast. Studies have been conducted that think that anyone coming will not be able to find work by the year 1934. This year alone, the national average American family income has been reduced by about 40%. This change dropped it from $23,000 to $15,000 in a year. Hollywood, because of the Depression, started to make happy movies to try to off-balance the sadness that came with all of the stocks falling. Since Hollywood has been making so many happy movies, people are thinking of calling this the golden age of movies.
Hey, Paul, want an Oreo?
An Oreo?
Yeah, an Oreo. Oh, oh, oh.
Who's that twister?
Who's that cruncher?
Oreo action, Oreo muncher.
Feel liquor cruncher.
Chocolate cookie dunker.
A creamy little muncher with O-R-E-O. Oreo action, Oreo action.
Twist dunker.
Whatever your attraction,
Watch the Oreo action
with O-R-E-O.
Buy Nabisco.
Buy your Oreo cookie sandwiches today.
Now, the current stock market with Vincent Manio. Vince?
Last year, the stock market experienced the worst crash in American history. Many Americans lost faith in their country. Chaos broke out. People ran for their money, literally. Last year's stocks saw a drastic drop, but how does that make this year's stocks? Are things going to get better? The Great Depression was spreading everywhere and entropy took over. Nearly 750,000 farms were lost through bankruptcy and sheriff sales. This hit the agricultural markets hard, which in turn incorporated with the depression spreading. As news of the stock market crash spread, customers rushed to their banks to withdraw their money, sparking disastrous bank runs. Nobel Prize-winning economist Milton Friedman argues that this year's market crash itself did not cause the depression, but rather it was the collapse of the banking system during waves of public panic during this year. More entropy, chaos. Even with their money, people could not buy their stocks and nothing would change. President Herbert Hoover did not do much to alleviate the crisis. Patience and self-reliance, he argued, were all Americans needed to get them through this passing incident in our national lives. Having a job during these horrible times paid, but was very minimal. This year, manufacturing employees earned about $17 per week, and doctors earned $16 per week. These high-paying jobs are not very high-paying after all. In addition to that, children who want to pursue these careers during these times won't be able to because by this year, thousands of schools were operating on reduced hours or were closed down entirely. Some 3 million children had left school and at least 200,000 took to riding the rails. Even so, there were many unemployed due to this tragedy. Now for our last segment, Roxanne Galdos with the sports highlights. Roxanne?
been an exciting year for sports in 1930, folks. From football to golf and boxing to baseball, you fans across the nation have been tuning in to listen to your favorite players. There have been many records broken and new ones set by women and upcoming stars. Let's take a look at some of these year's highlights. This year for football, your NFL champions were the Green Bay Packers. Their winning season consisted of only 3 losses to the Chicago Cardinals, Chicago Bears, and New York Giants, whom they all previously beat. They finished this season off playing a wild and thrilling game against the Portsmouth Spartans that ended in a tie. Their official record this season was 10-3-1. In other news, your 1930 World Series champions are the Philadelphia Athletics. They beat the St. Louis Cardinals 4-2. October 1st through the 8th, the 2 teams played 3 games at Sheba Park and 3 at Sportsman's. Leading the Phillies to their 5th World Series victory was the pitching ace Lefty Grove, along with George Earnshaw. The Cardinals led the league in runs scored with an average of 6 runs per game, but only managed 2 runs per game in the World Series. So congratulations again, Philadelphia! Also, an interesting year for 25-year-old boxer Max Schmeling, who beat Jack Sharkey for the vacant World Heavyweight Champion belt with a controversial foul punch decision in the 4th round. Well, that's all the time we have for today's broadcast, folks. Thanks for listening, and tune in again tomorrow night at 7. 19.3